Plaintiff Tara Albert met the defendant when they were both incarcerated, and years later they reconnected on Facebook. Tara claims 2 weeks after reconnecting, they went to get married, and the judge who was going to marry them arrested the defendant on an outstanding warrant. Tara's suing her ex for loans and emotional distress. Defendant Jack Albert says once he married Tara, he realized she was crazy. Jack claims during a fight with his new bride, he called the police because he knew he had an outstanding warrant and he wanted to get locked up just to get away from Tara. He denies owing Tara for anything.
Start with you.
Well, first of all, I want to say this, what I'm going to tell you is not a made-up story. This actually happened, so I know it's crazy, but it did happen. So, a little history. I met Jack while we were both incarcerated when I was 17, and we started writing letters back and forth in jail, and then we
now, how did you all meet each other as co?
He was a trustee, and he got to go around the jail.
To the women's?
Yeah, Your Honor, I was a laundryman. I used to be able to go in and hand out and
communicate
say hi
with the women?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so
a lot of guys wouldn't mind being locked up there.
we briefly wrote while we was incarcerated, and then we lost touch after we were released. And we didn't contact each other for 17 years, and then Facebook, we reconnected through that 17 years later. And well, he came over one day and just never left. And 2 weeks later, on April Fool's Day, we got married.
Well, that's not binding.
Well,
that was April Fool's. You want to claim that? If you want to claim it was April Fool's joke, how long did you all stay married?
We stayed married for 3 years, but we were only together not even a whole month.
All right, would you consider that a joke?
Well, it was a joke.
Well, no marriage. All right, you weren't married.
It was a bad joke.
that first.
Anyway,
go
so
ahead.
if that's not crazy enough, when we go to get married, he gets arrested on a warrant by the judge that was going to perform our ceremony.
Kidding.
No. So.
Yeah, you're right. You can't make that up.
Yeah, so I wish I wasn't making this up. I really do, but
Hold on.
This is my life.
They run a check on the people before they marry
Yes, the
them?
judge recognized the name and pulled him up.
He recognized the name.
Yes.
Not that he ran a check.
I don't know if they checked, but he recognized him and his face and his name. So yes.
Wow. How many times had he gone before that judge? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Sir, is this true?
Very true.
How many times? How many times had you gone before that judge?
Your Honor, okay. He used to be a lawyer before he was a judge. He was my lawyer on a couple cases.
He knew you had a warrant? How did he know that?
No, they did a they background check anybody that comes in there, and, you know, surprise, surprise.
So, yeah, so he gets, the judge calls him up there by himself, and so then I knew we weren't getting married. I was like, well, can we get married first? And no, he wanted to take care of the warrant first. So anyways, that's where the first loan came about was.
Okay, but when did you get married?
We got married after I loaned him the $304 to get out of detainment. We got married that day still, on April Fool's Day.
You bailed him out?
Yeah. And then
married him how long after bailing him out?
10 minutes.
10 minutes later?
Not even 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes.
So you only lost about 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And you put up how much?
That day I paid $304.
And he agreed to repay?
Yep, he agreed to repay me, made arrangements with the judge to pay the balance of the, made arrangements to pay the rest with the judge.
This was when? April of what year?
2011.
All right. Let me hear from him with some background, then I'll get back to you. Sir?
Well, Your Honor, she's completely right. As absurd as this sounds, yes, we they never took me to jail. We stayed in a courtroom like this. They had me sit down and they went through the proceedings of, are you going to get out and go to jail or what? She insisted on bailing me out. She wanted to get married.
Yeah, I just want to get married.
Yep, you wanted to get me out of there so we could get married. She was insistent. She was insistent on it. She went through everybody in that courtroom that was our friends and family to get the money to do so.
Yeah.
Wow. How many times had he gone before that judge? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Sir, is this true?
Very true.
How many times had you gone before that judge?
Your Honor, okay. He used to be a lawyer before he was a judge. He was my lawyer on a couple cases.
Defendant Jack Albert says while married to the plaintiff, he called the police so he would get locked up on an outstanding warrant just to get away from the plaintiff.
Did someone else contribute to it?
No, his friend was in the courtroom. The judge said, "Oh, you can
Did
pull up
anyone else
among yourself."
contribute
No,
to it?
no, I paid because he said he would pay me back.
So if he hadn't agreed to pay you back, you wouldn't have gotten him out?
No, I didn't. I don't have it like that.
So
I'm
you
not.
would have felt, so you wouldn't have married over $300?
No.
Okay, good enough. Go ahead, sir, but
Well,
you
Your
probably
Honor.
agreed to repay. You wanted to get out of there as quick as possible.
Yep, he was crying about it.
Actually, Your Honor, we didn't have no.
Did she ask you to repay her?
No, not once.
All right.
Not once.
Let's get to the other loans
Okay,
you're suing
so
about.
anyways, in June of 2011, he never took care of what he arranged to pay on our wedding day to the judge. So he had another warrant. The police were called by my neighbors again because we were fighting.
You paid for him to get out. How much?
Well, that day I paid, well, I didn't pay it until...
No. I called the police on
Sir,
myself.
that's enough. Did you agree
Yeah.
did you put up money, ma'am?
Yeah, I didn't. At first, he got
When
arrested
did
on the
you
22nd.
put up the money,
on
ma'am?
July 1st.
For bail again?
Yep, he called
How
him.
much did you put up?
$306.
And he agreed to repay you again?
Yeah, he said that he was gonna get out,
All
and,
right, and
he
he
begged and
hasn't?
begged. No.
All right. Sir, what do you have to say about the one in July?
The fight in July, okay? It was a big fight, big spat. Neighbors are out, they're watching everything going on. I'm tired of what's going on. I'm tired of this crazy woman.
Whatever.
I want out of it. I called the police because I know I
You came to
had
my
this
house,
warrant.
jerk.
I was negligent. I didn't pay. I knew I had this warrant. I called the police and told them what was going on. I said, "Come get me." And they came and got me.
Yeah, but then he called he called as soon as he got to the jail.
That's
begging me
pretty
to come get
bad,
him.
ma'am. That's pretty bad.
Oh, I know I'm crazy,
your
but he's
husband
a
is so
liar.
frustrated with you.
No.
He calls the police
He
and say,
called
"I'd
the
rather
cops.
be in
Listen,
jail."
He thought
Yes, sir.
he actually thought he was
When
going
is
to
the
get me
next day,
arrested.
ma'am? When is the
Okay.
next day?
The
Did
next
you agree
day-
to repay or not?
No.
Yes,
All right.
he
When is
begged
the
me.
next day,
Yes, he did.
ma'am, that you
The
loaned
next
him money?
time, we split up again after that, and then in January January 2012, we tried one more time to reconcile. He had got a ticket right after I got him out of jail in July for something to do with a motorcycle. Didn't take care of it, of course. So he had me call and make arrangements that he was going to pay me back with the courthouse to pay $100
So you
to
loaned
get
more money. How much?
Yeah, because $100 that time.
All right.
And he said that he was getting
All
his
right.
taxes back and he would pay me
Gotcha.
everything.
All right. Let me hear from you, sir, on the last incident, $100. What happened there?
She paid it. Did she ask for it back? No. She was my wife. She
You
wanted
all
to
were
keep
still
me out there.
together?
Yeah, right.
All right.
She wanted to make sure I was out there. with her.
That's a lie. That's a lie. He called me begging from jail. He
I
thought he was
got
going
it.
to get me arrested,
All
but the
right.
idiot had his
I
wallet
got
chained
it,
to his
ma'am. What's the
pants.
emotional distress for?
Well, I tried to file. I filed for divorce in
When?
December 2013. Mm-hmm. And he would not return my attorney's calls, messages, phone messages, text messages, Facebook messages. Finally, it only would have took 60 days if he would have cooperated, but he wanted to play games. He had his girlfriend sign for the papers twice. Anyways, I almost lost my house because I couldn't get this loan because I had to either add him or be
Lost
divorced.
your house that you had prior to marriage?
Yes, and it was to
How
pay
did you almost lose it?
because I needed
Based
to pay
on the divorce.
because I needed to add him to the loan application or be divorced, not just file be divorced. And they went. I couldn't get a hold
All
of
right.
him, and I
So
wouldn't
you're
add him
saying
anyways.
because the divorce didn't go as you wanted?
Well,
ma'am, listen to me. You're saying because during the process of the divorce didn't go as you.
Well, it took 7.
Oh, you're not gonna listen?
No, I'm
okay,
sorry, I'm
let's
sorry.
talk about the loan. When did your divorce become final?
It just was final on the 5th of this month.
All right, the 5th
default.
of this month. Now, sir, what do you want to say about causing her emotional distress during the process of the divorce?
Well, first of all, she had no way to contact me. These were the mail and whatever phone calls, I never got it. But, Your Honor,
Your Honor, I have a
these were
statement.
sent to
Please be
wrong
quiet.
addresses.
I've asked you
I
several
apologize.
times to let me ask and explain, and you just keep talking
Okay,
over me.
I'm sorry.
Go
I do
ahead.
apologize.
Your Honor, here are the
I'm going
two.
to call the police and ask them to arrest me too, like you did.
I don't blame you.
Say, come get me, police. Go ahead.
Here are the documents that I received that are going to the wrong addresses.
Let's see it, please. How can you prove it was the wrong address?
Because they finally, as it was returned, as you can see on the bottom, it's sent to the correct address on May.
All right, so it was going to the wrong address, ma'am. Hopefully that's an explanation for you.
Defendant Jack Albert says while married to the plaintiff, he called the police so he would get locked up on an outstanding warrant just to get away from the plaintiff.
The only thing you're entitled to today is the money you loaned him prior to marriage. Everything else that came 10 minutes later or beyond was marital property. You can't sue him for monies exchanged during the course of marriage. All right? And the emotional distress of not being able to contact him, I'm dismissing that. He shows me that you were sending it to the wrong address. Your judgment for $304 is granted. Have a good day.
You too. You done? You happy? It's
Yeah, I've been done, you little.
over. See? If I had a warrant, I'd call the police again.
Yeah, you know what? You're such a liar.